and welcome to part 2 of our lecture on the supporting connective tissues. In part 1, we looked at the cells of both bone and cartilage. This is a slide of cartilage, and in this slide we have these cells right here trapped in structures called lacunae, which means lake in Latin. Now these are chondrocytes. A chondrocyte is a mature cartilage cell. Now over here we have these flat cells called chondroblasts, and the chondroblasts build cartilage. There's a third cartilage cell called a chondroclast, and it cleans up. Now this is bone. Bone has mature cells called osteocytes. They too are trapped in lacunae. See how much smaller the bone cells are? Then I had it zoomed in, and when I went to draw mode it zoomed out. Those two cells right there that are sitting on the edge, can you see it? I have my glasses on and I certainly can't really see the cells there. Those are called osteoblasts, and those are bone building cells. We then look at the difference between bone and cartilage. Both of them have cells trapped in lacuna. One big difference, though, between bone and cartilage cells is these cells have access to blood. There's blood flow through bone, where cartilage does not have blood. Another difference is both bone and cartilage have collagen fibers. You're actually seeing the collagen fibers here of bone. It's been decalcified to make this stain. But bone also has calcium salts. The calcium salts give it hardness, where these fibers give it some flexibility. Next, both bone and cartilage can thicken, but only cartilage can elongate. I'll explain why your textbook misprinted that. We then looked at the 3 flavors of cartilage. This is strawberry cartilage, otherwise known as hyaline cartilage. And here is the chondrocyte living in its little lacuna. One characteristic is it has this dense irregular connective tissue on the outside called perichondrium, and it has chondroblasts. See how much flatter they are? And this is the matrix. It has collagen fibers. You just can't see how they're arranged in this slide, this stain. And this is our vanilla. The other 2 cartilages are based on it. This right here is fibrocartilage. It is in the pubic symphysis, and we have bone right here. And here's the cartilage, here's more of the cartilage, and here is bone. Because it's bordered with bone, it does not have a perichondrium, unlike hyaline and elastic. So this cartilage is best described as hyaline cartilage with dense regular fibers. We can see some of the dense regular fibers here. And usually you can see some. And these dense regular fibers, they'll have fibroblasts. That's probably a fibroblast right there. But on this, I don't see mine. Maybe that's the second one. Now we have our lacuna with our chondrocyte in it. So this is a mixture of the 2, and it allows for compression. This is going to compress this way. This is going to compress this way. So it allows for compression in the middle here. The laughing you heard in the background was my kids. They have now run upstairs, so I'm pretty sure we're about to hear some elephants. So this is fibrocartilage. And again, because it has this bone right here, it lacks a perichondrium. Now this is elastic cartilage. I thought I had my picture that had the perichondrium on here, but usually it has a perichondrium. Now we again have these lacuna with the chondrocyte. Now we have these black elastic fibers in it, and those allow for elasticity. You have it in something called the epiglottis, which covers your windpipe when you swallow, and you have it in your ear. Question number 1. Which type of cartilage is found in the ear and epiglottis? You guys have to know that. And is marked by dark elastic fibers. I really hope you said elastic. I will not say elastic fibers in the test. So, this cartilage has a perichondrium, so that eliminates our fibrocartilage right there. And it eliminates our osteo, it's not cartilage. It's found at the ends of long bones, whatever those are, and found in the fetal skeleton. That's going to be hyaline. Students often miss that it's the fetal skeleton. Mature cartilage cells are found in caniculi, lacuna, the perichondrium, or bone. Would be B. Now we're going to look at bones based on their size. And I'll classify them based on their size and their shape. and use that classification system in the lab today. Yes, you're doing another matching activity. Students will identify the parts of a long bone as well. So, what are the different parts of the bones in the skeletal system? Did we learn some of them already? What's your forehead? That's your frontal region. Guess what the bone is? Frontal. What's the side of your ear? Temporal. Temporal region, temporal bone. What's your sternum? Oops. What's your breastbone called? Your sternum, your sternal region. So how are bones divided? How would you divide them? And what are the parts of it? Bones have parts? Well, we'll answer those questions. So, bones of the human body. There's compact bone. So, where is compact bone? What is compact bone? Well, compact bone is, as you can see, compact. So this is compact bone that I've been coloring in purple. And it's found on the outside of all bones. So if I have a short bone, this is going to be compact bone on the outside of it. So the outside of a short bone will be all compact bone. Now, it is very dense for protection. It's also found in the shaft of long bones. So this is a long bone right here. Take a guess, it's long. It's in the outside here, but I have spongy bone in there too. But this shaft here is all compact bone as well. So if I draw the dog bone here, there's our typical cartoon dog bone. It's going to be in the shaft here. And it's going to be in this outer part right there. Now, the other type of bone is called spongy bone. It looks like a sponge. It's light in weight. If our bones were solid, they would be so much heavier, and it would require so much more muscles. We'd be so big we couldn't move. And it has many openings in it. That space. Now, you still have strength. It has trabecula, which are sort of like the old Bay Bridge where you had a cantilever section. So we have spongy bone that looks like a sponge. And it has still strength, but there's air spaces in it. So inside the short bone here, I would have spongy bone. And it still has strength because of these trabeculae, but there's holes for marrow and for lighter, making the weight lighter. It is inside of flat bones. Those are bones that are flat. Inside of short bones, those are bones that are short. Irregular bones, those are ones that don't fit in the short, flat, long category. And in the ends of long bone. So this long bone here is spongy bone. Compact bones here. There's the spongy bone. Now, compact bone is compact. So here's the spongy bone right here. This is the shaft of a long bone. So this is in this region right here. And compact bone has these repeated units called osteons. So this round thing right here is an osteon. And there's several osteons in compact bone. So I'll draw the picture here. I can have several of these osteons. That is what compact bone is. These repeated circles. Now, it's in the shaft of long bones and the external of all bones. Do you think that's a test question? I've repeated it 12 times now. So these osteons are the repeated units. So I have my osteon right there. I have another osteon right there. And they're arranged in concentric ring called laminella or laminae, depending singular versus plural in Latin, around a central blood vessel. Now we're going to have these osteocytes in their lacuna. And these little black things are osteocytes in their lacuna. And they form rings in these laminella around the central canal. There's little tiny canals called caniculi. Guess what that means in Latin? Little tiny canals. And they're connecting the lacuna. So I'm going to draw a couple central canals that have blood vessels. So there's a blood vessel. Here's another blood vessel. And another central canal. And here's another blood vessel and another central canal. No, I did not do that to make a face. I would never do that. Now we have these concentric rings around each central canal. And the rings make up laminae. I'm not going to test you on the laminae because I care about the canals connecting them. So I will have canals connecting it through. And these canals are called caniculi. And what basically happens is blood goes from the central canal through the caniculi to the lacuna, and it travels between cells. Nutrients actually travel between cells, not the blood. So here's our completed structure. We have our central canal. We have our caniculi connecting the osteocytes and the lacuna. And nutrients, not blood, passes from the central canal through the caniculi. And basically, I could draw these concentric rings. That would be one laminella. This would be another laminella, sort of like a target. This is yet another laminella. You got the idea? One more for good measure. So the osteocytes are in these concentric rings. Now, a spongy bone gets its name because it's sponge-like. Here is the compact bone on a flat bone on either side, and the spongy bone is in between. So in here is the spongy bone. And we have this lattice-like makeup that is actually distributing the weight to the compact bone. So it is actually strong unless you accidentally drop a femur in a lab class right in front of the lab tech. Yes, he writes me a letter commemorating it every year saying he's still mad at me. So, spongy bone is found in the epiphysis of long bones. So if I draw my little dog bone like this, that would be the epiphysis, the ends of the long bone. It is found in the middle of short bone. So here's my short bone. Wow, it looks like a square. And in flat bone. So this is my flat bone. It looks like a sponge because of an airspace. Yeah, that looks like a sponge also. Now, they have this lattice called trabeculite. And this is sort of like a cantilever bridge. It takes weight from this point and distributes it someplace else. Now, instead of, it still has osteocytes and lacuna, but it doesn't have true osteons. We still have caniculi connecting them, but no true osteons. And we'll have osteoblasts, these little guys, and osteoclasts, these big guys, on the outside. So, what bone cell is found in a lacuna? An osteoclast, an osteoblast. Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster? No, that's not it. Osteocyte. Osteocytes and chondroblasts are found in lacuna. Bone tissue outside of all bone is called hard, compact, spongy, or soft. Well, that's hard, so it can't be either of those. It's compact. And again, when you see fill in the blank, just write the answer in. I know you can't see the green. So we're going to look at the parts of a long bone in our next section. And we'll talk about marrow. And we'll look at long bones and short bones. Thank you.